Here on Mirror Now, we've told you again and again in the last 3-4 weeks that something seems to be going wrong with the Bengaluru model and in the state of Karnataka. To the extent that even now the authorities and the government is accepting that yes, suddenly they're looking at a huge spike. These are the big takeaways from the charts that are on your screens right now. The situation is actually worsened from June 14th to now. The peak has now shifted by 42 days, which means, and it's also gone up. It's supposed to peak with about 53,000 cases now. And the R0 rate, viewers, which is how many people can one person infect, which shows the extent and how quickly the infection is taking place, that has gone up in the state of Karnataka from 1.42 to 1.62. So this is also a very important statistic that most experts look at, your rate of infection spread, which is the R0, and as it goes up, it shows a terrible picture. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us for a conversation on Karnataka. Mr. Vivek Reddy, spokesperson for BJP in Karnataka. Dr. Sylvia Kharpagam, public health doctor and a researcher, joining us this evening. Mr. Reddy, what happened? Suddenly, just in the last 1 month, how did Karnataka lose control over this?
Well, I think during such time, Tanvi, the lockdown was there. The government did an excellent job in order to curtail the spread of this pandemic. Even thereafterwards, the government has continued its old practices. But I think the intense economic activity that Karnataka, or at least Bangalore, is known for, is a cause for the spike. And you see that all around India, wherever there has been intense economic activity, that's where there's been an escalation, and that's where there's been an intense spike. This is one aspect. The second aspect is, of course, what is surprising for us from the side of the government is, since the past 1 week, there's been a terrible increase. I think this is where the government is gearing up for the challenge. Every city, every major cluster in the world is facing a peak. And I'm thankful that you analyzed the peaking dates. I think now the big challenge for the government is to target and face this challenge of peak and ensure that it is minimized. Government also considered whether there has to be a lockdown at this stage, but then they resisted. They thought otherwise, and they thought that let this activity continue. Perhaps the government may have a rethink in the days to come. This is how the things are going in Bangalore. Massive preparations are being made, with about 10,000 beds being provided in order to ensure that people can come in. Home quarantine rules for the asymptomatic patients or mild symptomatic patients have been declared. And government is working at various levels to ensure the effect is minimized. But as you said, it is still surprising for us that there is a peak within the past 1 week. We see a lot of case increases, escalation. And this is what is surprising for Bangalore. It was hoped that the people of Bangalore ensure that there are safe practices in order to fight this challenge, and so that we can all come together to ensure that there is a minimal effect.
Okay, but Mr. Reddy, one question that will be on minds of everybody in Karnataka right now will be, what happens next? Will we see stricter rules or like it has happened in several other parts of the country where we've gone back to a lockdown or a shutdown? Is that something that will be required based on your own internal analysis as well? Like you said, the last 1 week, the spike has been very concerning. So as the state now prepares and brings in additional beds, adds to containment zones, puts ministers in charge of smaller regions to personally track all of that. As all of that happens, is there a possibility that people should brace themselves for stricter rules or a lockdown?
I think the government is exploring all options, Tanvi, at this point. The question is when this will happen. But if things go out of control, or if the peaking or the spike in the cases is very steep, then I think the government will consider locking down in order to prevent the spread of the pandemic and to flatten the curve. I guess that at least is an option that the government is exploring. The question is when it will happen. But the government is, as far as possible, the government is trying to avoid such a situation, because the question of livelihoods are also posing a challenge. The millions of people are on day-to-day livelihood. So therefore, it's a balance between the two. and they are seriously considering it.
Okay, just some other statistics that I want to bring to the notice of our viewers. And like I said, viewers, R naught is a very interesting statistic that shows you just how quickly the infection could be spreading. Now, as of 20th of April, the R naught in Karnataka was 1.66, but by 14th of June, it had gone down to 1.42. It's now gone up again to 1.62, which is not a good sign. R naught is essentially how many people can be infected with one active case, and this is what experts traditionally track very, very closely, apart from, of course, the active cases and the recovery rate. Let me bring in our expert as well. Dr. Sylvia Karpagam joins us on this conversation. Dr. Karpagam, we were talking about this a couple of days ago as well. What is it that Karnataka needs to do immediately to now contain the infection and ensure that things don't worsen? Right now, our projections show that it could, the number of cases could peak and hit as high as 53,000.
Hi, Tanvi. As we discussed earlier, I think there is some kind of a misunderstanding about what a lockdown is. A lockdown definitely leads to a lot of disruption of people's livelihoods and economic activities, and it should be the last option. And the only reason any state would decide to have a lockdown is to prepare. So that in terms of either preventing the cases from becoming more and more infective and in numbers increasing, and also in terms of anticipating the kind of emergency or crisis that is likely to arise. And the government of Karnataka had an almost 1 month lockdown, and now they're suggesting a lockdown as though it is a responsibility of the people. But the problem is that during the last period of lockdown, the systems have not been prepared, and it's not that now that the cases are rising, you say we will do this and we will set up systems and we will identify cases and set up health facilities. So clearly there's been a delay in responding, in anticipating and in preparedness. And I think this is not a surprising or unexpected turn of events. That is one thing. And if one has to now do something to do interventions, I think there are two things which the government can really work on, and that is to make sure that more and more people don't get infected, and the other is that the serious patients have access to emergency care and are not denied any health care for whatever reason, whether it's economic reasons or social reasons. And there are already models that are available for people who are positive. It depends on their comorbidities, whether they have other pre-existing conditions and whether they are at high risk. It also depends on their socioeconomic condition. So if a person has the ability, there are hardly any messages going out to people that you can self isolate at home. Initially, there was a lot of confusion. People thought, like, if you're positive, then you have to rush to a hospital and occupy a bed, wherever you can get it. And that message still hasn't gone out clearly. I think the message has to go out that 85% patients do recover. If a positive diagnosis doesn't mean you have to panic. You can stay at home. And I think we have a lot of areas in Bangalore which are lower socioeconomic areas where definitely people cannot self isolate, and for them there should be facilities like fever clinics, and these have to be well equipped. We also haven't yet explored the idea of reverse quarantine, which is very important, which is at all people, like if they have comorbidities and if they're high risk, they're given the public health, education that you can go to these centers. These centers can be any like places with single rooms, like medical colleges, schools, hotels, lodges, and people should be able to do reverse quarantine there. And we also this whole issue became highly communalized at the beginning. Sometimes deliberately to take the focus away
Correct.
from the government's responsibilities. So there is going to be a lot of caste and class and religious prejudices that are going to come in. People from dominant caste will say, I won't, stay in a hotel where there's a Dalit or Adivasi person. People from Hindu community may say, we don't stay with Muslims. So I think those have to be addressed. You have to go on a seriously address those concerns of people and tell people that in a pandemic like this you cannot have prejudices, because that's going to prevent even whatever the efforts the government is going to make. And the other point I want to make is this focus on Bangalore is artificial. The other districts are very vulnerable. People who have come from different states, the migrant workers have possibly carried infections and possibly, moved across, communities. It's very important that there's preparedness across the state. It can't be very focused only on Bangalore or only on the city. And if I think in terms of the emergency care,
So, Dr. Sylvia, very quickly, let me ask you this question, Dr. Sylvia, because if I can just come in there, because you made this point, and I largely agree with you that lockdown wasn't simply to protect ourselves as the virus goes away. It was to help our governments and authorities prepare better, build their policies, their health infrastructure, get a grip on the direction forward, and then we start unlocking. But there are many now who are asking questions if Karnataka should have held exams and let the youngsters out, go them in the middle of the pandemic. There are many who say, well, look at Bengaluru, they opened up their restaurants, allowing people to sit and have food way ahead of everybody else, and that should not have been done. Do you believe that there is a possibility that we continue to unlock like that while we are ready with enough number of medical staff, enough number of beds and ventilators and awareness amongst people to handle if the cases go up?
Absolutely. See, this whole response to a pandemic has to be participatory. It cannot be done in a punitive manner where people are treated like criminals and, they're told you have to stay at home if you don't have money or if you don't have food or if you don't have access to healthcare. The government, when it says a lockdown, it means the government in principle says we take over these responsibilities. We will ensure that you have food, we will ensure that you have a livelihood, and we will ensure that in the case of a crisis you will have access to healthcare. So with a lockdown, just punishing people means nothing at all. And unless the government takes a responsibility with or without a lockdown, it's going to make no difference.
Okay, here is our expert saying that, simply going back into a state of lockdown is not really the solution. Significant amount of, discipline, I believe, is also required. We do need to keep in mind the economic impact, the livelihood part of it, while we ensure that whatever rules are there are actually followed well. I am going to, thank both of our guests as far as Karnataka is concerned, but for Karnataka viewers, just to reiterate, the challenges are manifold. Unfortunately or fortunately, because in the first few months, Karnataka did such a, relatively better job than other states, and the cases were extremely low, and that's visible in the way it's suddenly peaking now. If you look at the chart for Karnataka cases, they didn't even prepare too well. They didn't have enough number of beds and hospitals, a centralized system for allocation of beds, a helpline system for a supply chain system for medicine. All of those issues that a Mumbai or a Delhi actually saw a month and a half, 2 months ago is something that Bengaluru is beginning to look at now, which is unfortunate. We should have learned our lessons from other states and other cities, and we should have prepared ourselves better even if the number of cases were low. It's happening now. Let's hope that the government is able to ramp up fast so that the struggle and the pain for the patients isn't that much. That's as far as Karnataka is concerned.